Hi, I'm Glenn Darcy, Vice President of Product Management at Arturia. Today I'm going to be showing you some tips and tricks using our Spark Creative Drum Machine. Okay, so in one of the previous videos we showed you just simply how to make a beat, and we've got a couple of those beats in here. Okay, so we've got these beats. Now what I'm going to show you is some of the live functionality that you can do with this. We've showed you some automation, things like that you can do during recording, but if you're wanting to play something back and perform it, there's a lot of functionality here within Spark that you have that's very unique to it and different than any other drum machines on the market. First thing that we have is we have this effects pad over here. And this effects pad operates in three basic modes. One is a filter mode, whereas I can move my finger around on it and get different filter sweeps. By pressing the filter button multiple times, you'll change what kind of filter it is. So right now it's low pass. And then I press it again, it goes to band pass filter. And you press it again and it's high pass filter. So I can play these examples a little bit here better. So this is the low pass filter. And then I go to the band pass filter. Then we go to the high pass filter. Start to play that down there. One thing that you can do with the filter is you can latch it. So by hitting select and filter, it's going to latch where it last was. So we've got it latched in there. To unlatch it, I just hit the blinking filter button and off it goes. Latch it back on. So I've kind of set up that filter setting like that. The next functionality that it has is the slicer function. And the slicer has a bunch of different modes in it. If you look on the software, if I click on the question mark in the new version 1.4, it brings up all these secondary functions that you can see on the screen. This is basically just a cheat sheet that allows you to see what some of these things do. So right now, in the middle of the screen, you can see where it says reverse. The slicer is in the reverse mode right now. So if I play it, it's going to basically reverse the audio. So it'll go 16th notes, 8th notes, 32nd notes, quarter notes, half notes, and one measure. So you can play around with it a lot. If you move the slicer into the strobe effect, it basically is like a gate. So I hit it again, I'm taking it into a pan effect. So now it's going to do like an auto pan. That's going to sound's going to go back and forth on you. So you've got that functionality. It goes 16th notes, 32nd, 16th, 8th, 3/16ths, and a quarter. Hit it again, and now it's in the repeat mix. So it's sort of like a delay kind of function. But it mixes in with the original signal. Then you hit it again, you get a bit crusher, so you can go for some 7-bit, 6-bit, 5-bit, 4-bit, 3-bit audio, and then down to 2-bit. Press it again. The first one's the repeat effect. And then we've got a tape effect, which simulates a tape machine slowing down. So I'll use the one that goes over like 8 beats. So they have it over 8, over 4, over 2 measures, over 1, and then over 1/2 and 1/4. So the 1/2 and 1/4 are kind of nice for performance things because you can just add little inflections into it. And then we go back to the reverse effect. So between those, you can see that there's a lot of functionality that you can do here. So one thing I'll do is I'll show now the roller effect. The roller basically allows you to do like a drum roll. I can hold this down and it's going to repeat. Right now it's doing 1/8 notes, or 1/4 notes, or 30-seconds or 16ths. You can do different swing values as well. And it's also because it's pressure sensitive pads, you can write things with a lot of good feel and stuff into them. So sometimes I'll use the roller to write a pattern in. And you can latch the roller on as well by holding select and roll. So when it's flashing, it's latched and you just turn it off by hitting the roller again. You can also do that with the slicers, lock it in. So I can do things like latch the filter and then go to the slicer mode. And we'll put that one on like the repeat effect. Then I can unlatch the filter, go back out of the slicer mode. So there's a lot that you can do right here within the effects pad and the different modes that you have between the filter modes, the slicer modes, and the roller modes. And all these things together really make this the ultimate in performance drum machines around. Next section I want to talk about from a performance standpoint is this looper section here, where we've got a loop on, off, a divide, and a move value. So what I can do is I can loop parts of the sequence here. So right now it's looping 1/2 of a measure. I can change this to be 1/4 measure, 1/8, 16th. Now 16th, it's repeating right now on a step where there is no audio, so I can move this. And I'm shifting through different steps, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. So you can do things like when you turn it back off, it always remembers where you are in the pattern. So you can see when you start to mix up things with the effects pad and the loop sections, that you get a lot of performance functionality going. So there's a lot of stuff you can do when you start mixing up some of the controls here. Well, you can see that Spark is a pretty amazing drum machine when you're looking at it, especially from a live performance standpoint. There's really nothing out there that matches what it can do.